Hey guys, so March is the month of all the TBRs. I've already shared a huge pile of possibilities for middle grade March, and I'm going to be doing an interactive TBR for that, and I already shared the first short where you can vote on what book I'm going to be starting the month with, and it's going to be interactive throughout the month, so more videos to come. This is not straight. This is going to bother me. Possibly straighter. And then we've got this weekend with Agatha that Angie and I are hosting, so I've got a couple of Agatha Christie books that I'm going to be reading on one weekend in the month. And then we've got March Mystery Madness, and on top of all that there's different reading challenges that go throughout the year. So lots and lots of books for March. I try to read as much as possible in March, and probably if I were to look back on the last couple of years, this is probably the month where I do more reading than any other month, if I were to guess. That's what I would say. So two of the reading challenges that I am working on completing this year, throughout the year, are my own Read Your Bookshelf challenge, which if you aren't joined in, you can join in any month. There is a $100 giveaway that's associated with that. I will leave the Read Your Bookshelf challenge linked below and probably top this side, maybe that side, I don't know. And then for March, the prompt is to read a book that has to do with growth. So I left this open. You could have something growing on the cover. You could have some kind of growing word in the title. You could do a book where there's a lot of character growth. Take it as you want. I already said in my middle grade March possibility pile that I am going to be reading The Secret Garden. I bought this book about a month or two ago, and I'm kind of obsessed with it. I think it's beautiful. I honestly don't know if I should display it on my shelf with this because gold foil is gorgeous, but I also really like the greens, so yeah. And it's got cool illustrations. This is what I'm going to be reading for the Read Your Bookshelf Challenge March prompt for sure. I'm hoping to kind of like it's not really that hard. There we go. I'm hoping to read this slowly throughout the month. Honestly, I just want to savor this, so I'm looking forward to that. And then I am also participating in Books and Lala's Buzzword-a-thon. So she has a different prompt that has to do with the words in the title every month of the year. And if I remember correctly, March is something about like a place in the title or a location in the title or something. So I was looking on my TBR shelf, which I am slowly whittling away. And I came across this one, and it's super short. Let's see how many pages this is this. Wow, it's less than 100. It's 97 pages. I'm gonna read Vancouver Nightmare. This is a Tom Austen mystery, so it also will work for March Mystery Madness, which is great. This is by Eric Wilson. It's a Canadian series. This is one of the Eric Wilson mysteries. I remember reading these as a kid. I feel like this was in my school library. This is book 2 in the series. I have no idea. A chance meeting with a drug dealer named Spider. Whoa, okay, wait a minute. I have never read the back of this. This is much more intense than I was thinking. A chance meeting with a drug dealer named Spider takes Tom Austen into the grim streets of Vancouver's Skid Road, where he poses as a runaway while searching for information to help the police smash a gang that is hooking young kids on drugs. Wow, I thought this was going to be like a light little kids mystery, but that's a little darker than I was expecting it to go. So yeah, I'm going to read this for this prompt. That location in the title prompt, I feel like this will be an easy one to check. Okay guys, I'm jumping in here. It's the next day, but I realized I missed 2 books in my TBR. The first one is actually, this was just voted this morning that I'm filming this. My patrons have decided that the Agatha Christie I'm going to be reading for March is 450 from Paddington. I'm really excited because this is a Miss Marple one, and I don't know anything about it. I don't want to read the back. I do see here, though, it was previously published as something else. What Mrs. McGilcuddy Saw. I've never actually heard of that title, but I've heard really good things about 450 from Paddington, so this is the book that I'm going to be reading in March. That's the Agatha Christie that I'm trying to solve. I am reading some other Agatha Christie as part of the Weekend with Agatha readathon that Angie and I are doing, but I'm going to be trying to solve this one. And then some wonderful ladies here on BookTube have created a little bit of a Christian booktuber community thing. We're going to be trying to read a book together each month, or at least I'm going to be trying. Most of the ladies in the group, well, lovely, read a lot more on the like romance side of things than I do, so I'm not sure how often I'm going to actually read the books, but I'm willing to try them. We'll see. And the one that was the winner for March is The Enlightenment, there we go, of Bees, by Rachel Linden. I had never heard of this book before. It was sounding really good. It's about an apprentice baker, but then her first love, her boyfriend, declares he needs some space. This is at age 26. Sounds like it's like a YA, but she's older. And then there was something that made me feel like there was maybe like a love triangle or something happening. I don't remember. I don't really want to read all of it. And it's a romantic adventure across the globe. Oh, is it across the globe? Maybe that will be more interesting. I don't like to know too much going into books, so I try not to read the full back, but sometimes I just get glimpses of little bits here and there. So there's this one. I'm gonna try it. We'll see how far I actually get. So I'm adding these two in. Now back to the actual video that I filmed. And then March Mystery Madness, this year they are doing no prompts. I am going to leave some information on March Mystery Madness below. They have a ton of hosts and co-hosts, so I can't name everybody. And I have a couple books that fit that mystery genre. Two of them are actually middle grade, so these work for middle grade March and March Mystery Madness. The first one is Murder is Bad Manners. This is a Wells and Wong mystery. This has two different titles, and covers. I love this particular cover. I love the illustrations, and I love it. I actually started reading this one already. I'm on page 36, but I decided to put it off for March because it fits so well with middle grade March and March Mystery Madness, so I'm not going to read any more. But I've been enjoying the first 35 pages. This one has to do with a girls' school. That's really all I know. And it's set in like the early 1900s, I would say. I don't know if there's actually 1934. Yeah, so I don't know. It checks a lot of my boxes. Then I've got Cold-Blooded Myrtle. So I really like, what do I really like in my mysteries? This is my problem, is I love mysteries, but I struggle with finding good ones. I like mysteries where I can kind of try to solve it. I really like middle grade mysteries when done well. And I like them to be a little bit creepy, but maybe not so much the middle grade ones. But anyway, Cold-Blooded Myrtle. This is book 3 in the Myrtle Hardcastle mystery series that I started last year, and I have been so enjoying. We've got a girl named Myrtle who just keeps, like, it's kind of funny when you get middle grade murder mystery series, because like, how many dead bodies do middle graders come across? Apparently a lot more back in like the Victorian days, because that's when this one is set. Yeah, so that's another one. Then I have another, like, is this Victorian as well? Possibly Victorian mystery. It's her name just Victoria, and it's making me think. Yeah, no, it is in 1887. This is A Curious Beginning. So I really like mysteries set back in like the 1800s, early 1900s, thinking like Sherlock. And I love Agatha Christie. I mean, we're doing a whole read-a-thon weekend around her, but it is a little bit newer than kind of where my sweet spot is, I think, for mysteries. Anyway, I don't know why I even requested this book from the library, what caught my eye. I think actually maybe because I saw it on Book Outlet and I thought I need to read it first before buying from there, because I'm trying to buy less books. So I don't know anything about this. London, 1887. Veronica is marking a milestone of her own after burying her spinster aunt. Orphan Veronica is free to resume her world travels in pursuit of scientific inquiry. I don't know, I read all of this here and I don't quite get where the mystery part comes in yet, but I'll give this one a try. And then I want to try reading book 2 in the Bronte Sisters mystery. I read book 1 in January and I wasn't a huge fan of it. So if I had gotten these from the library, I wouldn't continue on with the series, but because I bought it, I want to give it a try. Trying to read books within 3 months. Read books within 3 months of buying them, and so I want to check this one off, at least attempt it. If I DNF it, I'm going to be okay with that. And then this is kind of, yeah, here is a weird thing. If you, I like mysteries, But in the Christian fiction world, there's hardly any Christian fiction mysteries, I find. Often they make them romantic suspense. And I like them because I like the mystery part. I like some of them. But then some of them are like so strong on the romance side. Anyway, I wanted to try an Irene Hannon. A couple of you recommended her to me. Honestly, I picked up this one because it had a better cover than a lot of her other books. And I 100% judge a book by its cover. At least that's what makes me pick it up when I'm like requesting books or whatever. This says hate mail was quite one thing. This was, okay. Hate mail was one thing. This was quite another. Yeah, so I have no idea. It's a radio talk show host and there's a police detective. So there's your romance right there. You know, those two are getting together. But I want to give this a try, see if she's an author I want to read more from or not. And then a male Christian author that I want to read more of that is kind of like in that mystery genre. It says suspense on the back here, is Stephen James, and this is The Rook. So this is book 2 in this series. I read book 1, wasn't the hugest fan, but I want to give book 2 a try. And so Special Agent Patrick Bowers, he is like a, shoot, now what is he? I don't remember now. He's like some kind of, oh man, he's like some kind of specialist in something. I don't know if it's like kind of like profiling or what. I'm probably blanking now, but this is a pretty big one. I'll give this one a try. And then that is all I have for mysteries or like suspense. I kind of don't know where one stops and the other begins sometimes. But then a book that I really want to read in March is The Secret Keepers of Old Depot Grocery. This is an Amanda Cox book, and from what I hear, this is even better than her The Edge of Belonging, which I rated 5 stars, and I have still yet to rate a book 5 stars this year, other than one nonfiction book that was a reread for me, so it kind of doesn't count. So I'm in need of a 5 star, so I might pick this up at the beginning of March. I have heard such good things. I don't really know much. I know it's dual timeline. It involves like a store that is run through the family. That's all I know. And I really hope this one just hits it out of the ballpark. And then I've got one more book on my list, and this is going to be a reread. I really want to reread Rebecca. So I read this for the first time 2 years ago and was quite new to the whole, like, I think this was supposed to be a gothic horror, that genre, and I was so confused throughout this book. I didn't like our main character. So it's narrated by a woman who never gets a name, and she feels like she's living in the shadow of her new husband's former wife, because everyone is always seems to be comparing her to Rebecca. And I don't know, I felt so confused. I was kind of tired of her whining, but I stuck it through, read it all, and then I was like, whoa, I want to reread this, like knowing what I know now, which normally I don't like that idea, but yeah, I want to give Rebecca a try. This was on my list to read in the winter and I never got to it, so I'm hoping I can get to it in March. So that is quite the stack. Let's see here. Oh my goodness. And then like thinking about all the middle grade books that I want to read yet. These probably won't all happen, but I'm gonna have to set aside like extra reading time in March, I think, because there's just so many good books, so many good readathons. So I've got all of these, plus all of my middle grade possibilities that, well, I'll at least get some of those read, plus the weekend where I'm going to be reading Agatha Christie. So hopefully my March wrap up will be amazing and I'll have some great like 5-star books on there for you. So let me know which readathons and different things, reading challenges, you are participating in March, and then let me know some of your books that you're going to be reading, and especially if you guys have some really good mystery recommendations for me that are like kind of cozy mystery but not cheesy. I like a little bit of creepy but not too creepy, you know, and I don't want like, often if they're creepy they're a little bit too like vulgar for me or something like that. So I have a very like fine line of what I like in mysteries, and I find it hard to find some. So if you guys have some recommendations for me, please let me know. Thanks for being here, guys.